Welcome on board.
Dr. Jamie, are we recording? Yes.
Done. It's supposed to fail to be recording.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Zul, for the reminder. Okay, so let's move to the topic. Because it's casual, it's BL Casual Chat series. Eventually, it's supposed to be a full hour session, and due to certain unforeseen circumstances, we believe that we can still go on with just a shorter period for this casual chat mode. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about upgrade yourself to be a level 3, flip teaching and learning, whereby we understand that there'll be a rising need, especially during this semester, because to those who are teaching on Mondays, we know that we are going to be having this like 4 Mondays dedicated to public holidays. And so most of our lectures are going to be affected, and you might be thinking for some alternatives for you to conduct the class. And there'll be ways for this, rather than having to find a new slot for your lecture hour. I would want to suggest that should you be prepared, okay, with flip teaching and learning mode, it means that you can always send the students some instructions beforehand, and then when they resume the class normally in campus, you can always opt for discussion, and then you're going to be becoming the facilitator. And from there, you can always ensure that the students really take up their responsibility to learn, and also work on some activities that already designed or ask them to attempt. So there's nothing much. I'm going to do most of the talking here. Remember, it's just casual chat. You are free to ask anytime. But of course, I need the moderator to be looking into this as well. Right? So if you are very acquainted with this for the past few years, already past few years, ever since 2016, we have this initiative. And let me talk about this again. So perhaps some of you is a mix, the participants is a mix of new as well as old staff. Perhaps not really old staff. Okay. I mean, there'll be some new additions to our academic population, whereby you might have not heard about our initiative, BOLD 2025, whereby we have defined 4 different levels for blended learning. And all of us are doing compulsory level 2, and that is enhanced learning. So what is enhanced learning again? That means on Brighton course page, once it has been adopted, you're going to upload all the materials, the slides, presentation, as well as assessment. And then you're going to look into activity types, whether it's going to be built in something like what Dr. To has already asked, assessment, it's just part of it, assignment, and then forum, and then we have lesson, and there are many more. Or if you're interested, you can always explore some tools from outside Brighton and then pull it back into the Brighton course page. So that one will be using some external tool, or perhaps using links, and also you can embed that onto the course page. Rest assured that it's not going to be putting so much stress on your course page. Why? Because it's just a pooling mechanism by codes, okay, to extract the info into your course page. So there'll be no worries about the course page being, being oversized or overloaded. Right. For flip teaching and learning itself, we know that most of the time, because we are already resuming our normal class lecture, whereby we have to conduct our conventional traditional lecture, whereby we have to start writing on the board as well as discussing with them. You're meeting your students face to face. So from there, you are seeing more interactions. Actually, you can always see how they perceive your teaching, and that is actually considered as instantaneous feedback. So we are not here to looking into gestures of the students, but more of a systematic and structured manner of doing or delivering our lecture. So if I can say, flip teaching and learning doesn't limit itself into just normal lecture. You can always use the same pedagogy to conduct your experiments. For example, to those who are doing laboratory works or laboratory class, you can always prepare this beforehand and let them prepare before coming to your lab session or your lecture session. And these students of yours needed to be reminded of how important for them to prep before coming to class. So what are the things that is going to be there? There are several factors coming into ensuring the success of the flipped teaching and learning, whereby the instructor must be held responsible to prepare all the materials beforehand. So this is a must. You cannot afford to have any lecturers to come into the class and then suddenly thinking that yesterday I've given you some videos to watch and then now I want you to get me some feedback. So that is actually something which is impromptu, that is almost sudden, and you need to ensure that you have the students alerted or perhaps informed that you are going to switch to flipped teaching and learning method, because there are sometimes they're not used to it and they'll be impacting your teaching evaluation as well. Why do I say this? Because sometimes they get this wrong, whereby they say that the students would want the lecturers to come to class and start teaching them, meaning it is of the full responsibility of the lecturer to come to class and conduct and deliver their lecture face to face and working as facilitator as well. But at the moment you're trying to say students are going to be doing the work, that would be a clear way to change the perception of the students because they are not prepared. They are sometimes thinking everything would be just channeled from the lecturer. All instructions should come from the lecturer and we are just here to sit and participate if and only if they are prepared and if they want to participate, because you cannot force them to participate. But the only thing that you can make sure that they learn would be to try to design your lesson in a way that they are going to be engaged, and the learning materials would be in between your lecture. Say, for example, you have got 1 hour lecture. What do? You're going to ensure that you have like 20 minutes of a topic, and then you're going to rest for a while, have a break with 5 minutes, for example, for them to digest, and then try to throw some questions, for example. Or perhaps they can partner with themselves, partner with their students, whoever that's sitting besides them, to get to formulate a question. So perhaps they come to certain agreement that this would be the hardest um, aspect of the lecture, for example. So sometimes they are not born to ask questions suddenly, so they should be working to get the question ready at least. Okay, so you need to know some techniques and feedback as well. But for flipped teaching and learning to be successful, it lies in the 3 principles: to prepare before class and doing the activities during class, as well as having something as a closure or assessment after the class. All right. So when we are here, we're talking about allowing the class time. So this is very critical because once you are opting for flipped teaching and learning, the students are going to be having this impression saying that the lecturers are lazy. So why do you think that the students are going to have such remark given to you? Because you're not doing it properly. So when we say that we prep the students with some materials as well as some instructions for them to do, then they're going to appreciate it more, because that is the mistake for some of the lecturers walking into the class unprepared and also forgetting to inform the students on the pedagogy change, which is slightly different from the traditional lecture. So this would be something that you need to take into consideration. And allowing the class time, this is actually part of the advantage, allowing the class time for you to discuss whatever that comes up from what they have learned or picked up before coming to class. So say, for example, you have 1 hour and you know that you're not going to be able to lecture for that 40 minutes and then only spare for another 10 minutes because that is going to be taking so much of time, isn't it? So how about having flipped teaching and learning? If you do this carefully, then you're going to have the whole 40 plus 10 minutes only for discussion. So that is actually a model that we can adopt, and you cannot do it every day. You cannot do it in each and every single lecture of yours, but sometimes you need to be selective. When it comes to being selective, that means you're going to be choosing as well as looking to options, which topics will be difficult for the students to understand, that you think that the students must undergo several independent learning time with them. So that means they're watching the videos, they're going to be doing the some DIY quiz, for example, and then come prepared. And should they have some questions, this is the time for you to allocate for them to discuss. And for this active learning itself, is more of a different category, because active learning stands on its own, whereby this category for learning would be picking up on the various methods to engage the students. You're not there to be talking all the time. You are there to be the facilitator, and you are going to be there to do all the arrangement. So making sure that your classroom is feasible for you to conduct this particular active learning method. So active learning is a different topic. Okay, so I'm not going to do this today. And what is very, very important here as well, you see the word deeper understanding. So how is this actually being done? Deeper understanding. So you might be thinking, there are two types of understanding. Okay, so if you attended Prof. Karim's lecture earlier, or webinars, the series, you begin to understand the students have two different approaches to studying. So that is the student aspect. Most of us are only thinking about us teaching, and to them, they are having to learn about learning. So this is very critical. Why? Because if you start babbling in the lecture, and then you are going to just lose their attention, lose focus, and hence they're just going to have somewhat we call as a surface learner. So when we talk about surface learner, the danger is, the risk would be, they only know whatever that has been covered in your slides, or perhaps that has been discussed, but not really into detail, because they do not adopt that particular delivery that you have given to them. So deeper understanding only going to be given when the students have the chance to try, have the chance to explore, and have the chance to explore the way the content that you delivered in class. Okay, explore, give them some time, and then they're going to be able to compare. Okay, there's something about Bloom's taxonomy. Most of us saying that we do this a lot for assessment. So the thing is that for Bloom's taxonomy, it is also encompassing your contents, your material, but it is also of a great impact to your design activities, teaching and learning activities, and also, okay, assessment is also part of it. So most of the time we only consider assessment, but for teaching and learning activity, rather than having a quiz to recall, right? It is actually one part of the activity. You also need to consider something that we do like a discussion. When we say discussion, so what level, if you want to align to your Bloom's taxonomy, there are many. So up to a certain extent, you're going to give the students to be able to apply the knowledge, that is level 3. And then once you have solution, problem solving, you want the students to compare the results with their peers or their friends. So this would be having to, for them to present the output or the outcome of the discussion in front of the classroom. You can do that, but they begin to pick up of a higher level of learning. So once they are going to the synthesis and then having to create something that's usually not covered during the lecture, that one will be in your assessment, your assignment. And for this to happen, you need to really consider their student learning time, or SLT. Why am I saying that? Simply because when it comes to SLT, just remember, be mindful that students are not only taking your course, the students are also having dedicated time on their own, me time, okay, independent learning, to see how much have I covered? Do I really understand the materials that has been taught by my lecturer? Should I read further? Should I find out more on the videos, okay, hosted on YouTube? So there'll be something that needs to be held responsible for the students to see. So when we say that, definitely the students are going to be able to check on their understanding, not on the assessment, but based on the activities that you have. And that is actually the active learning by design, as well as encouraging them not to become a surface learner, but to appreciate your topics, your materials that you have already delivered in class for a deeper understanding. It's just not enough. Okay, by having to study on their own, they need to collaborate, they need to exchange ideas, they need to exchange some inputs of the discussion, such that they come to a conclusion, and then they are being trained to think, and that shall happen outside of the classroom. Why? Because the topic today is on flipped teaching and learning. Everything in terms of preparation will be done outside of the class. So once they are very comfortable with the materials, they are already understanding what happens here and there, and they are prepared to come to class, at least some rough idea of what you're going to be doing during that lecture time. And later on, you're going to do an activity or conduct an activity during the class time, just to simply check, or can I say you're putting an emphasis on this particular topic, content, so that they gain more understanding. So when they have this as pillars, one by one, step by step, that you scaffold them to learn, because you need to guide them. Okay, you are the facilitator now. Hence, from surface learner, they can have this habit to become a deep learners, right? So they're beginning to ask questions, not the Socrates way, yeah, Socratic method. The thing is that they're going to be somewhat trained, or becoming a habit, because you have actually molded them to do that. You have encouraged them to do things like that, to prepare before coming to class. So that is deep understanding, deep learners. So this is what we want as a product from our teaching. So this is only the second slide. So do you have any questions so far? Remember, this is just a casual chat. So let me get my coffee. Right? A casual chat is a casual chat, but should you have any question, so I'm just going to entertain that as well. Right. So I don't like to go into this because you're hearing me babbling here and there again. Yeah, so benefits of flipped teaching and learning. So you do have enhanced student engagement. So you know that by now, if I can get the students to prepare, that would be wonderful, isn't it? Because it makes your life easier and more convenient, because you don't have to, you know, walk around and teach again. But of course, you need to recap at certain extent. There'll be some places, some stages of the discussion that you need to explain more on the activities, the outcome. And you are there to facilitate, and you're not there to say that it's right or wrong, but somehow you're going to say that in terms of corrective actions. So why is it corrective? Because sometimes they get a misunderstanding of certain topics. So your role will be a facilitator. It should be this way. I'm not saying that you are wrong, but it can be seen this way, for example. So you begin to ensure that the students are getting to see it. So the students are going to appreciate that most of the time. And because of the deep understanding, remember, surface learner versus deep learners, they are going to be uh, they can actually preserve, okay, the level of retention of such knowledge will be there. As such, if you keep on saying 2 plus 5 equals to 10, 5 plus 2 equals to 7 every time during the class, then they're going to be like memorizing, and then somehow it sinks in their mind, right? It's the same case. So if you continue to mold them, scaffold them into understanding, appreciating the topic, discuss it, and let them engage and take charge of their learning, so they will be responsible and appreciate every single thing that you have done in class. So there's something about Making sure that student learns, right? Next, we are also keen in having the students to do or perform individualized learning. Why? Because every single student in your class, if you are teaching like 100 students, they are all not the same, isn't it? They have different backgrounds. They're kind of slow learners. They're kind of fast learners. They are intermediate learners. So which one are you going to be able to do okay, to try to ensure that everyone is covered? So when we say everyone is covered, nobody gets left out. This is somewhat like doing something by design again, right? And remember the Bloom's taxonomy. So make full use of that. If you think that you want to start at a lower pace, a lower level, recalling, there is a concept, for example. So if I'm teaching something and something, there is a concept, for example, electricity. So there is one law, we call it Ohm's law. So there'll be something that you can tell the students on the concept. Then recall what is the equation that is very low level. And then there is an example I'm going to introduce to you. So bring it higher, right? So the example on how to calculate using V equals to IR. So that is application. And then you are going to, you're going to level up on that particular understanding, whereby you're going to introduce two sets of questions, and then they're going to solve it, and then they're going to find out there'll be some results which is going to be different. So they begin to think. So that is actually to train them again for progressing at their own pace. Yes, but you are going to feed them, build them one by one. Because they'll be fast learners, I understand that. And from there, the fast learners are just going to sit down and then think, when will my turn arrives? So that would be something that you need to remember. It's not a one size fits all, but the thing is that you're going to support everyone during the class activities. So flipped teaching and learning is more of the preparation that I've already talked about, and also what happens during the class, because I'm going to go there with some examples for you to see. And when we say that we are going to mold the way they're thinking from surface learners to become deep learners, for this is going to be more on the problem solving. And we are wondering why sometimes our students are very dependent on, say, for example, if they are trying to compose a message or trying to write an email, for example, so they become, you know, somewhat dependent on the use of technology. So we do have ChatGPT nowadays. They can seemingly write like a human being and sounding more like a human. So they avoid some of the critical steps to think, whereby the computational thinking is not there anymore. The critical thinking is no longer there, has been taken away from them. So during the discussion, try to instill some methods for them to trigger, okay, to try to trigger some of the students to come forward and be brave enough to present their ideas. When they are doing problem solving, so they must be able to speak up for this and provide avenues for them and support them whenever you can to have these higher order thinking skills. This is something that you need to inject into them. And then your teaching style should be infused with many, many, many different tools as well. And remember, tools are just for teaching aid. But the real thing would be you as the facilitator conducting your lecture, and then try to be sensitive with all the feedback, with all the gestures coming from you students. So that is somewhat to ensure the success of the flipped teaching and learning. Now remember, what happened just now, you are no longer conducting the lecture as usual. The lecture has taken place before your real class time. So what you need to do during the class time, it's very important that you reinforce whatever key topics or ideas, and then only discuss whatever which does matter. Why? Because you cannot afford to carry on with the 15 slides, okay, like normal lecture do. So this is something that you need to think about. Very critical to keep the discussion points clear, and then you appear to be achieving the objective. So this is what we want most of the time. Right. Okay. So I don't like babbling here and there. So I already talked about this, yeah, but maybe I'll just go through somewhat. Okay. So I just go through everything, 3 steps to it. One will be preparing class materials, and then you're going to engage them in their lecture, doing the activities, and then you're going to be performing some assessment. That is post-class activities. Pre, during, and post, right? So it works that way. So I only have one lecture, 1 hour lecture. Can I do flipped classroom? Of course you could. Why? Because you have to plan how it goes. And the amount of time will be given to the student learning time by means of a lesson plan. So I'm going to show you a lesson plan later. All right. Okay, so they'll be strategizing. So I think it's about like 3 minutes past 10. So if it's okay, I'm going to move on to this. Please remember that I do not do flip teaching classroom. Flip classroom. Yes, in my normal undergrad lecture because I'm doing lesson. Lesson is level 4. But now let's migrate to this. Once upon a time, I was co-teaching with Prof. Ong. So this is a local area network design and analysis course. And you can see that this is actually an archived course page, right? Okay, let me go into this. Okay, flip teaching and learning would be level 3. So how would be the requirement be for Unit 10 academics? If you fancy to have a flipped classroom, you are going to be able to tick. To tick what? To declare your course at that particular level, level 3. Okay. Does that mean that I can abandon all my videos as well as my your chat or materials later on? No, the thing is that flipped classroom, flipped teaching and learning will be built on top of level 2. So meaning you cannot go on without all this being set, work, and later on you're going to be having your flipped classroom thingy. So how many flipped classroom can I conduct in one particular semester? So let's take, for example, a full semester, a normal semester, you have 14 weeks. So we can say that we can adjust this to like 4 times. Okay, 4 flipped classroom activities. Does it coincide with our public holidays? We have 4 Monday public holidays, isn't it? So you can do that. You can opt for flipped classroom if you want to, and we can work on this together if you want to. Right. So where is my flipped classroom activity? So there's one. Okay, so it's not there anyway because it's just a label. Okay, so how does it look like? All right, so this is for COGS. So this is how it looks like. A flipped classroom must be prepared, yeah? As such, when you prepare this, you're going to be seeing that it's a lot of things to consider, but it's okay. So it looks like an ISO document. Okay, so when was this done? September 2021. So I have my Sifu here, Prof. Ong, and then we were looking into this. So this is my first lesson. Yeah. So what are the things required for pre-class? So we have to understand at home or at their accommodation, they need to complete the lesson. As such, materials are there. Just slot in all the materials, the slides, etc. on your Brighton. But you have to plan how you are going to use the materials. So this would be incorporated into the duration of your pre-class activity. So you are going to ask the students to dedicate or allocate 2.5 hours to read and understand some review notes. Because we're teaching on internet, so I think everyone seems to understand what internet is, so it's easy. And then they are going to spend about 15 minutes each to watch 2 videos. Ensure that it's clearly dictated or stated there because we want the students to complete everything. And one thing for sure, the trick is for them to watch the videos completely. You can start using Panopto. Why Panopto? Because there'll be a way for you to insert the assessment or the quizzes. So you can do that. And there's also another option, but we do not subscribe to Edpuzzle, if I'm not mistaken, right? Edpuzzle is actually like Panopto. So we are subscribed to Panopto, so make use of it. And then students are given like 5 days in advance. And remember that for a master's class level by coursework, they're going to have, at least we have to prep them like 1 week before. So let's have something like to decide. Say, for example, we always meet them 2 hours class every week on Tuesday. So why not give this instruction like 1 week before? Okay, because they have to handle other classes as well. So this is going to be what you're going to prep them with. So this will be considerate enough for them to complete. And then this is something to do about their time management. So if you don't know how to manage their time, then that's it. Okay, they are going to come to your class unprepared. Keep on reminding them what to do. So in this case, for a class like this, so this is adult learners, working adults, so they need to find some time. During the class, there'll be some discussion on the related topics. So what are the topics? All right, so give them all the lesson objectives. Yes, what are they going to expect after that? It's very simple. At the end of the day, must be aligned back to your objectives or that particular lesson. And what are the students' learning resources that you want to supply to them? Course notes, okay, so these are the slides, okay, remember to give them the link, okay, you can put it there. And then internet resources where they can find things, and then what are the YouTube clips that you think that they are going to do, to watch. And remember just now about 15 minutes, sometimes these are just complementary. So you have like 14 plus 5, like 19 plus 9, about roughly 30 minutes, is it? Or 20 minutes. But of course, they're going to spend some time because you are going to install, or in between this particular video segments, you're going to have quizzes, assessment, right? And then what are they going to be supplied with? A Microsoft Forms on activity. So this is what the closure means. After the discussion, there'll be like one particular quiz waiting. So that is to encourage them to learn and be responsible with what they have learned, right? Okay. Right, so pre-class session, make sure that they are spelled out. But these were the previous lesson plan, yeah? So I think whatever it is, I think it needs to be recorded somewhere, and it serves as a form of guideline, right? For the instructions to be there, for the students to take up and attempt the task. So the pre-class session, they are going to do following activities. They will read. We assume that they're going to read, but at their own time, own sweet time. And then there'll be 3 supplementary videos, and then read their understanding, because we have this particular numbers of quizzes for them to see, right? And attempt. During the class session, everything will be given. So you can see that how we deliberate things is very critical, that everything will be spelled out. Why? Because we are not there to assist them. We are not there to instruct them. So it must be somewhere recorded on this particular lesson plan, so that the students are not left wondering what is expected from them. So what are they going to do during the class session? So they are going to expect this. They'll be brainstorming. What will happen? Get into pairs. So we prep them so that the class management will be quicker. Why? Because sometimes when you start at 9, for example, even worse, to start at 8, 8:15, then the students one by one will be dropping in, coming in. So you need to try to assure the students to please come in, or get to class as early as they can, in order for us to get on with the activities. Else, some groups are not going to be complete, and then they're going to have to identify different group members. And that is the losing one for the one who comes in late. So brainstorming activities, so they are being here to do what? Okay, they are instructed, they are being warned. Okay, can I say that? Reminded. Then you're going to ask the students to post on this. So the link should be provided, yeah? And then there'll be focus listing. So this is a type of active learning, because if you are interested, there are many. Okay, but I'm yet to, actually I did some review on this, okay, on active learning. But I'm not sure whether I can have another session. But let's see, okay? If I'm free, then I'm going to be having another session. Focus listing. So you have this, and then in 1 to 3 minutes, do what. So this will be given to the students. And then closure, another Padlet. So it seems like we are doing a lot of tools here, but rest assured, they must be ready beforehand so that students are going to expect there's a flow and they're not going to be worried when they come to class. That means you come prepared. So the students are going to be entertained by the lecturers, and this will be something that is beautiful if we can do this successfully. Right. So coming to this, what happens after that 1 hour session is completed? So there'll be a post-class session whereby you're going to be having to conduct an assessment, or perhaps just ask them to review. And in this case, we spell it out. One thing for sure, what we need to do, we prepare some questions. Yeah, what do they need to do? So that is at home activity, and then formative assessment. So you have Microsoft Forms again, because they were located here. Can you see that? There, activities 2, right? Activities 1 is actually previously, and they are interrelated. So that's how you design it. Okay, you are seeing more. Then formative assessment, week 1 quiz. So there'll be something on Brighton. So that one is not given here because there'll be a link associated to it. So ensure that when you are going to conduct this quiz, make sure that you inform the students on the whereabouts of the quiz. Okay, remember, you also need to organize your Brighton. And summative assessment, this will be how they're going to be assessed, right? Because after the flipped classroom, they might be surface learners still, and they haven't appreciated or haven't digested what happened during the lecture. Give them some time until we meet again for the midterm test, and then they're going to be able to come up to certain level of expectation for mastery of that particular topic. So this is how we try to design your flipped classroom. Okay, any questions so far? Okay. So this is part 1. Yeah, there are many. So I did my flipped classroom for the master's course. All right.
Dr. Jehana,
Yeah.
Mas Diah here.
Yeah.
Kalau video tu kan, kalau video tu we just upload yang YouTube punya, maksudnya kita tak design our own video, is it okay or actually kena ada jugalah at least one our own video?
Not necessarily. To answer your question, not necessarily you have to get your own video. Okay, like I said or mentioned just now, kita tak perlulah mempunyai mana-mana video yang macam kena ada video sendiri kan, self-explanatory yang dibuat sendiri. Ianya khusus untuk lecture kita saja. Tapi sekiranya YouTube video tersebut membantu dalam pembelajaran, dan kita kena ada caralah untuk curate ataupun mengenal pasti mana yang betul-betul berkenaan dengan topik kita. Maksudnya kita dah tolong belajar untuk filter senarai video yang ingin ditonton lah. Alright? So kalau tu tak payah. Tak semestinya. Kalau rajin, okay. Alright.
Maksudnya kan during class session tu which is during class session tu is more on discussion, it's like kita jadi facilitator tu on kepada student kita lah kan. There is no lecture at all lah kan.
Masa flip ke?
Masa flip, during the class session tu.
Classroom, betul. Yang saya cakap tadi, kita tidak mempunyai mana-mana elemen lecture. Ia lebih kepada perbincangan. Maksudnya kita memang betul-betul percayakan murid ataupun pelajar tersebut telah menonton video, telah membaca artikel yang diberikan, telah membuat mana-mana yang patut sebelum datang ke kelas. Yang mana kita akan berada di dalam bilik kuliah tu hanya untuk perbincangan dan jadi pemudah cara lah. So maksudnya kita akan berikan soalan, lepas tu macam mana nak bantu mereka, guide. Basically we need to guide them. Tapi kan dalam lesson plan tadi kan dah cerita kan apa expectation yang kita akan buat. Kita akan berbincang, kita akan buat pairing, kita akan buat brainstorming, macam-macam lah. So maksudnya student dah bersedia.
So basically kalau dalam course outline kita kan kita ada topik. So kalau I nak pilih flipped classroom ni, basically pilih satu subtopik sahaja dah mencukupi, memadai lah kan? Subtopik ke
boleh.
kena ambil satu topik?
Okey. Kalau Puan Masdia nampak, Masdia kan saya tak nampak. So somehow kalau macam ni lah kan, saya teringinlah nak buat flip classroom kan sebab nak di Pavali nanti. So somehow ada topik-topik kan. Topik-topik ni dia just beberapa page slide. So maksudnya dia tak perlu lecture yang panjang tu macam sebab saya nampak pensyarah kita ada yang menggunakan materials daripada buku teks. Dan kadang-kadang dia bukan berdasarkan topik, dia adalah berdasarkan chapter ataupun yalah bab kan. Jadi bab tu mungkin panjang macam 50-60 slide kan?
Yes,
Betul tak?
yes.
So apa kata kita hanya tumpukan perhatian kepada topik-topik yang penting. Macam saya tak suka nak buat satu chapter. Payah. Sebab student kita tahu dia punya attention span tu kurang. Lepas tu yang kita betul-betul nak buat flip classroom ni adalah topik yang sangat penting. Maksudnya yang susah lah selalunya. Saya ada juga penekanan kepada topik yang kena baca dulu. Lepas tu kita bincang. Review dulu by students and then when they come to class, then we're gonna talk about it. Maksudnya kita tak bagi lecture dah. So macam sekarang, katakan yang nombor 3 ni, kalau saya rasa dia susah, then saya akan flipkan dia.
Alright, okay. Get it. Thank you Dr. Jahana.
No problem. Sebagai contoh untuk menyokong perbincangan kita ya Puan Masdia. So kalau week pertama ni kan baru lagi student pun tak datang. So kita just supply. Inilah yang saya katakan YouTube tu. YouTube tu boleh datang dari mana-mana. Tapi kita yang cuba tapis. Okay, we need to try to curate ataupun filter all these videos for them to watch. Sebab kita je tahu konten dia. Sebab ada juga kalau kita tak tengok betul-betul video tu macam berapu sikit lah. Right? So tak perlu dalam konteks ni. Dan ada keperluan kita akan buat video sendiri iaitu video pakai Panopto ke ataupun mana-mana tools yang sedia ada. So dari sini macam mana kita nak flipkan dia? Okay, kita boleh flipkan dia. Saya tak buat flip ya. Saya kena buat lesson. Kalau flip, kita ambil semua dia punya link ni masukkan dekat lesson plan tadi. Maksudnya diorang kena watch lah. Kalau saya just cakap lah, sila tonton segala video pada minggu pertama dan teruskan dengan menjawab beberapa soalan kuis. Kuis tu sebenarnya lebih kepada DIY, tak ada markah pun. Dia lebih kepada pada pandangan anda, apakah yang berlaku dalam satu komputer, katakan, dalam operasi satu komputer. So what's inside the computer? So what happens there? You're going to see what kind of komponen. So they're going to discuss themselves. Maksudnya selepas saya habis menonton video ini, saya mendapati bahawa komputer sebenarnya terdiri daripada elemen-elemen atau komponen-komponen yang begini, begitu, macam tu. Dia test dulu. Okay, sampai di situ kita jumpa pada hari Selasa untuk perbincangan. Dia lecture lah kan, dia kuliah tapi kita berbincang dengan lebih panjang lebar. So that's the thing. Dia bukan lecture. So maksudnya saya tak perlu dah pergi dekat history ataupun introduction ni sebab dia lebih kepada baca dulu. Lepas tu dah faham sikit dan kita bincang. So that's the thing. So kita jimat masa kat situ dan menumpukan perhatian lebih kepada apa yang kita nak discuss. Tapi saya faham tidak semua kuliah ataupun bahan-bahan mengajar kita yang boleh diterjemahkan sebagai flip classroom ya. Dia punya pendekatan tu mungkin berlainan. Ada yang memang kena betul-betul kita buat style kuliah, black and white dan pakai whiteboard semua tu. Somehow tak semua akan okay kalau kita buat menggunakan pendekatan flip classroom. Dia mungkin lebih berbahaya sebab ada student yang tercicir dan juga kemungkinan besar there'll be some students yang complain because they did not have enough time to do this particular approach. Ataupun of course they are going to complain, isn't it? Tapi kita kena bagi diorang lebih masa lah. Bagilah sekurang-kurangnya 1 minggu sebelum lecture seterusnya. So we need to decide. So macam ni saya tidak memakai video sendiri buat masa ini sebab dia memadai dengan menggunakan YouTube for example. So you just cakap kat sini, jangan lupa kena ada sedikit penulisan yang mana apa yang expectation untuk berlaku pada minggu tersebut. What are the videos to watch? And then daripada situ you boleh letak kuis. Okay, kat sini ada kuis dah. Minggu pertama dah ada kuis. Kuis ni berkenaan apa? Berkenaan video tersebut. Tapi ni bukan flip classroom ya. Dia hanyalah satu habit yang saya ada. Setiap kali kita ada kuliah, kita guna course notes. Ni course note, lepas tu ada video ke whatever, ada activity, and then we are going to recap. Tu recap tu lah yang penting. Recap tu adalah quiz. So, tapi semua tu berlaku merata-rata. Dan mostly berlaku dalam waktu kuliah, during the lecture hour. And then that quiz will be conducted anytime because quiz ni online. Is it actually part of the assessment? It's up to you. Okay, adakah diambil kira sebagai carry mark? It's up to you. Dan juga katakan kalau macam tadi nak buat flip classroom style ya, kalau week 2, kalaulah week 2 ya, apa yang berlaku kat sini? Video ni hanya supplementary, nak tengoklah, nak tontonlah. Okay, so ini adalah DP course material, lepas tu kita buatlah activity, kita compare. Sebab benda ni penting. So katakanlah Mustafa dengan Muhammad ni, dia dah tunjuk macam ni. Jadi apa saya akan buat ketika kuliah tersebut, kita adakan satu sesi perbincangan. Sebab di sini dia dah high level. Dia dah bukan recall saja, dia lebih kepada comparing. Right? Lepas tu, diorang pun kena letak diorang punya perbincangan sebenarnya. Oh, Allahuakbar. So, monument ni katakan macam mana. So, dia kena ada statement dia. Dia perbincangan sebenarnya. Inilah yang dikatakan model aktiviti yang perlu ada dalam kelas. Dan sesungguhnya, kalau boleh, how about capturing the activities into your Brighton course page. Remember, if you are using Padlet, dia tidak bermaksud you are actually putting so much load to the course page. Sebenarnya tak, because you are simply pulling the codes from the server. Server siapa? Server Padlet. So it's not that, it's just paparan saja yang diletakkan ke dalam Brighton course page. Okay, so we have to be very careful. Okay, so that's what happened. And nampak kat sini ya. Ada juga kat sini saya suka buat. Apa yang berlaku pada minggu ketiga? Adakah saya buat classroom sebenarnya? Adakah saya buat flip classroom? Sebenarnya tidak. Saya hanya gunakan apa-apa yang ada untuk buat lecture tu lah. Ada lagi kan dia punya lecture video, saya minta mereka tengok. Watch this video to recall. Penting, recall sebelum datang kelas itu adalah dia punya reminder to the students such that they are prepared, especially when it comes to this. Sebab dia ada calculation lah dia orang kena buat. Lepas tu kita akan discuss when it comes to a 2-hour lecture class. So masa itulah saya manfaatkan sesi kuliah tersebut untuk perbincangan. Tidak ada lagi lecture, tidak ada lagi go through slide whatever. So model yang saya pakai tu macam hybrid tapi sebenarnya bukan flip classroom pun sebab dia prepare tu pun tak ada lesson plan kan. So this is just pesan-pesan macam tu je lah. So it's not proper to say that I can claim that this is flip classroom. Bukan. Flip classroom kena ada lesson plan. Flip classroom kena ada dia punya perancangan. Yang mana materials tu mesti dah ada kat situ. Dan juga quiz ke whatever memang dah ready. Okay. Bukannya okay lah saya nak buat flip classroom lah hari ni. Tiba-tiba bagi video untuk tengok. Untuk tonton. Dan satu lagi. Ada yang salah juga dia punya pandangan. Or you have got a wrong impression. Flip classroom is not supposed to be watching the videos is not supposed to be during the class hour. Okay, sebab ada juga academic kedapatan kalau kita jalan-jalan pergi tengok kuliah orang kan. So when we walk by, kita nampaklah our colleagues. Tiba-tiba ada video pula. Tak apalah, it's okay. Tapi video tu macam lama ke? Tengoklah, agak-agak lah dalam 5 minutes is okay. Just to have the gist of the video. Nak tayangkan semula pun boleh. Because sometimes flip classroom ni will be a challenge. Sometimes students, they do not watch the videos prior to coming to class. That will be the thing. Dan bila diorang dah masuk dalam kelas, when they have this session for facilitating ataupun discussion, they're going to be missed out. They do not know how to handle the discussion because they do not have that prior knowledge. So this is something that we need to try to emphasize. Ni hanya review. Lepas tu cerita. Lepas tu kita buatlah macam survey ke apa perception dia. Suka-suka je kan sebab participation of the students are of utmost importance. Okay, so we boleh displaykan kat sini. So dah ada radio understanding. Boleh juga sebab lepas kita dah mengajar tu, ni tak ada masuk markah lah. It's more of in-class activity. What do you do? So do you agree with this? Okay lah, tengok pemahaman. Sebenarnya benda ni pun bagus juga sebab remember sometimes tak diberikan markah. Flip classroom ni kadang-kadang kita hanya nak tengok teaching learning activities tu untuk memantapkan kita punya pemahaman tentang students, whereby we need to get their feedback. Dan dia juga adalah satu alert kepada kita ataupun feedback yang mana andai kata rate your understanding of these operators. Yang this one, it is actually pre-survey. Maksudnya sebelum datang ke kelas, you can do this. So there are many models you can follow. Nama dia blind question, taklah blindfold punya ni. Aktiviti sebelum belajar. Maksudnya dia tak tahu menahu langsung lah tentang topik tu. Tapi dia ingat lah sebab previously dia pernah buat. So kita buat dulu rate your understanding sebelum perbincangan. Macam mana perasaan, suka tak, macam mana pendapat mereka lah tentang pemahaman. Ada yang lemah sikit lah, especially dekat XO ni, for example. So kita boleh terus up kita punya perbincangan in a way we are going to accommodate berdasarkan real time feedback. Real time feedback ni lah yang kita perlu ada masa topik perbincangan di dalam kelas. So flip classroom, kalau buat betul-betul dan systematic, then you're going to get a good feedback dan juga a good, you can ensure that the students actually learn. Learning has happened. Itu yang kita perlukan. Bukannya kita simply walk into the lecture, hello everyone, so today we're going to be discussing this now, and then goodbye. Tomorrow I'll see you again. Tak nak macam tu. So we're going to have to discuss this, ensure that every single student's feedback collected, and of course, we have to move from there. Kita akan ambil yang ini sebagai penambahbaikan lecture akan datang. So students see that as being important. Oh, lecturer sebenarnya melihat pemahaman kita macam ni hari ni. So patutlah dia menekankan dengan lebih banyaklah topik-topik macam ni. Dia berikan banyak examples. There are more to this. So you can do a lot of activities. Ruang masa yang diberikan ketika aktiviti kuliah telah pun digantikan dengan perbincangan macam ni. So it is more meaningful sebab dia dah ada prior knowledge. Okay, dia dah belajar dulu. So kita tak nak buang masa dah. Because setiap orang mempunyai pandangan lain-lain, tapi bila dah sampai kat dalam satu bilik yang sama, so semua orang akan dibantulah, dibimbing untuk memahami some of the materials that already delivered. So ini salah satu cara lah. So saya letak je lah in class activity. Okay. Dan dia kata suka letaklah course, quizzes. Ni online. Saya buat quiz nombor 2 saya dekat online juga. Dan ada plan akan datang. Closure saya yang untuk penutup flip classroom tu would be to buat sebagai physical quiz. Tulis dekat atas kertas. So that is also part of the activities that you can plan for a flip classroom. Alright. Ada soalan?
Macam mana rasanya boleh break sekejap 5 minit kot. Dah 10.30.
Sekarang sudah 10.30. How about having a break?
Dr. Jahana, Sarah sini, CCI. Sebab saya ada kelas pukul 11, so saya nak tanya sikit je. Boleh ke flip lesson ni kita buat untuk lab session, lab yang tidak menggunakan tools, sebab setengah lab macam Cisco kan dia ada juga yang tak menggunakan tools, tak menggunakan equipment. So boleh ke kita gantikan dengan flip lesson untuk lab tersebut?
Okay, saya familiar. Terima kasih soalan tu, Puan Sarah Cisco Data Communication Network ya?
Ya.
Somehow lab tu ada yang tak memerlukan software simulation etc. Hanya macam IP addressing kan? IP addressing.
Betul.
Itu macam lab sheet lah jadinya.
Betul.
So suruhlah pelajar tersebut. Still kena ada lesson plan. Minta diorang go through the akan dibincangkan atau tidak?
Dibincangkan. Maksudnya kita bagi week before ataupun dalam kita punya plan lah kan. Lepas tu during the lab session tu terus bincang. Kalau tak kan macam nak takes time juga nak nak tulis kan. Kalau pakai equipment tu memanglah kena duduk dalam lab tu kan terus buat. Tapi yang ni macam IP address kan macam panjang juga banyak soalan kan.
Saya buat flip lah tu. Untuk
yang tu boleh di-flipkan lah kan.
Betul.
So tak semestinya lesson daripada lecture lah kan. Yang kalau lab tu bersesuaian, tak gunakan tools, kita boleh buat flip juga kan?
Betul. Tapi asasnya telah diberikan dalam kuliah.
Betul. Maksudnya kita lecture dulu,
Dah lecture
lepas
dah.
tu
Boleh.
lecture dulu. Lecture dulu, maksudnya lecture dah siap lah, dah ajar. So
Betul.
basic tu dia orang dah ada. Cuma bila nak implement, I mean nak apa ni, lab punya session kan, setiap tu kan ada lab dia kan, setiap topik tu. Tapi sebab dia tak guna tools kan, so kita rasa macam lagi bagus dia praktis dulu kat rumah dan kemudian datang kita mungkin masa bincangkan tu kita assess another one question ke kan, tapi tak perlulah nak start
Tak
daripada
semua.
mula kan.
And then you can close this particular flip yang IP address tu dengan quiz. Boleh je.
Okay. So kalau quiz tu semestinya link dengan Brighton ke ataupun sebab Cisco pun ada quiz dia sendiri kan. So baiknya macam mana?
Tapi kan apa yang saya fahamkan kalau Cisco ke Huawei ke sekalipun dia punya quizzes tu boleh di-download kan.
Betul.
So how about having that buat sebagai PDF ke? Boleh. Kalau tak nak buat satu-satu sebab dia bukan .csv.
Betul.
Okay, so bolehlah PDF kan, inilah dia quiz yang kita dah buat dekat Cisco platform. Saya faham sebab you kena pakai Brighton, you kena pakai Cisco course page, lepas tu kena saya faham. Saya dah melaluinya. So,
Sebab kalau macam kadang-kadang kuis satu tu memang kita buat dekat Brighton lah kan. Tapi kalau macam untuk close the flip lesson tu macam 2-3 kuis pula nak kena buat for starting lah. Kalau nanti next time okay, kita baiki diri.
Okay lah untuk SEM ini Puan Sarah bolehlah buat quiz sikit-sikit. IP address ni mudah je kan. Bagilah 5 dulu. 5 multiple choice, lepas tu grow them up.
Okay.
Banyak sikit question bank.
Question bank. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we're heading for a break. Can 10 minutes be okay? 10 minutes boleh tak? Still recovering from yesterday's lecture. Saya tak nampak orang ni.
Ya, okay, 10 minutes.
Boleh ya? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, have some coffee and then come back. 10 minutes means that we're going to be seeing you again at around 10:45. Taklah, 10:44. Bye.
Sambil-sambil tu boleh isi borang attendance dengan evaluation form. Jana? Dr. Jana? Okay, so saya mohon peringatan siapa yang belum isi borang attendance tu boleh isi borang evaluation sementara menunggu Dr. Jana masuk. Jana?
Hello, welcome back. Sorry, was outside. Okay. All right, it's okay. Mr. Aiman and Miss Sarah. Okay, you're excused. Okay, it is recorded, so maybe you can always see it later. Watch the recording later. So can we start and move on?
Okay, teruskan.
Okay, yeah. All right. So welcome back, everyone. Okay. So during okay, another half of this casual chat, I would like you to consider. Say, for example, you have so much of commitment. Of course, lecturers are required to do this and that, and then such teaching load. I can understand. When it comes to populating your Brighton, your course page, etc. And then you are now thinking about upgrading yourself to be at level 3. So how can we do this smoothly? We can try to organize our materials by hands-on. Okay, so if you are following right now, so let's try, okay, let's work together with me, okay, to work on what we call as a flip teaching and learning mode for the upcoming week, yeah? Okay, so for example, this is the week 6, week 4, yeah? Okay, I haven't done much on week 5, okay? So we are going to start doing this in real time on how to design for flipped classroom. Now, I'm taking this opportunity as well to update my Brighton course page, if you don't mind. Okay, my week 6 is rather boring. Okay, is it week 5 or week? Okay. Hai. Dia nak pergi mana? Week 5 lah ya. Week 5. Dia tak boleh lah. Dia kena refresh sekejap. Itu jugalah pasal Brighton ni kan sometimes you need to refresh. Okay, pergi kat week 5. Okay, nampak tak week 5 saya? Kita nak tengok ni lagi dah. Week 5 saya agak boring lah buat masa ini. So that I plan to... Okay, so for flipped classroom, so I'm going to be ready. Most of you may have got your online or course materials here, but it's so lame that you're only satisfied with topic 9, 10, and 11 alike. So our plan would be to force it to become a flipped classroom example. Okay, how do we plan with that? So next week, I don't expect a public holiday anyway. Right, so you're gonna put in some, okay, an activity or resource. So for example, there are many things here that you might want to explore. Pretty much the same, yeah, for now. Okay. But you have custom certificate, but you don't need this unless your course is a micro credential. You can do that, explore this. You can opt for external tool for Padlet, so you can do that. And you can have the normal ways of doing things. You can also opt for H5P. This is HTML based. And if you are on level 4, then it's lesson, okay, whereby you are going to perform the routes, the differentiated path, etc. And then you can introduce a page. A page will appear as something else, okay, rather than being shown as a continuous files, okay, which is displayed on the week. You can do questionnaire, you can do a lot of things, but this one is kind of ordinary because we always have this workshop to get to understand how to use these built-in functions on Brighton. Now you can use survey if you fancy to do that, and then you have Earl. This one is actually trying to pull that particular activity from outside. Yeah, you can do that. And now you might have seen, I believe if you have attended Mr. Sam Modern LMS workshop, when he did say something about some new features, especially when it comes to turning on for editing. And label, you notice that it's gone. It's now being replaced by text and media area. So I want to do flipped classroom. So I'm going to have text and media area to be added. As such, this is my week 5. So we can do this placement later. Right? So think about it. If I were to use something like watch these videos, blah, blah, blah. So how can I make it like a summary instruction? Okay, so perhaps you are aware of something that we call as the SIM or self-instructional module, whereby I believe if I do have some time, I'm going to be producing a guideline. Okay, producing a guideline on how to do self-instructional module. And that one is critical when we want to miss a class, or we are going for conference, or perhaps we are on sick leaves. So this can be somewhat beneficial to leave your students with unreplaced class, but by having clear instruction of how the students can move on and do their learning themselves without you being present. So that is self-instructional module. And today we are doing flipped classroom. So I would recommend you, I used text just now, text and media. So I would recommend you to do this. Okay, what is it? A flip. You can always suggest to use a flipped classroom. You can do this. All right, label it carefully. So what do you intend to do with flipped classroom? So I would suggest, if you don't want to use that lesson plan, remember you need to have a clear structure, yeah? So that I'm going to start saying, put in, this is not impromptu, this is by design. It is systematic, yeah? So pre-class, okay, preparation, you can say that. Okay, the instruction, you can do that. And then during class, and then always remind yourself to have post class preparation or post class activity. You can do that. Okay, up to you. So by right, you are now trying to instruct the students. Bear in mind, to instruct the students to perform flipped teaching and learning. Do not use that lesson plan if you feel that you have so much things to do, but it's just enough and sufficient if you can do this. Okay, please ensure that you prepare the students well before the discussion time. So for the pre-class preparation, I would recommend you to do something similar. So what do you want the students to do? You're going to ask them to watch the YouTube video. Okay, remember just now I was supplying the link so that when they click the link, they're going to be brought to the right YouTube page to watch the video. But that one is actually inside the lesson plan. But how is it going to be different now? This one is on the course page itself during that week. So a lot of our academics are following the same way of doing things. I believe this is more convenient, but please don't forget the essential instructions for the students to look at or look for when it comes to guidance. So watch the YouTube videos below. How many videos are there? Maybe 2 YouTube videos. Okay. Right. Then what do you want them to do? Okay. Note or perhaps pay attention. Okay, I don't like to use that. Maybe make a note. You can do that. Make a note on 3 key takeaways you want to from each video. Yes, you can do that. And then where to put this? Where do you want the students to include this comment or the note? Okay, you can always come up with some Google form or Microsoft Forms, up to you. Or maybe you can just say, okay, attempt you can do this at home activity to record your findings. You can do that if you want to. All right, so this is not going to be graded. Please remember. So where can you find this? Attempt the at-home activity to record your video findings. Where do you get this? Maybe you can put a number here. Right? At mana? Where do you get this? Where do you get this? So is it on the Microsoft Forms? Or is it Padlet? Up to you. Please specify and then put the link. Or maybe the Padlet is actually ready below this question. All right? And then what do you need to do during class? What do you need to do? You just say, get yourself into pairs. Or you can do form a group of 4. Up to you, depending on the scale of your class. Now, what do you expect them to do? To discuss. Discuss the key, because you're going to release the at-home activity results to each group. Discuss the key takeaways, or you can always display during your lecture. Discuss the key takeaways during class or in your group. And do what? Okay, I'm asking yourself. And do nothing. Discuss the key takeaways and what do you intend to do from there? Discuss key takeaways and summarize. Okay, summarize in a slide. Okay, and then get ready for a presentation. Up to you. You is your choice, or you can put it on PowerPoint, or perhaps put it on Padlet, because sometimes you can do that. So it's easy. So you use the tools. So Padlet must be specified. It can be below, right? So Padlet, which one? I will make sure it is it number 1 now? Because I want this to be Microsoft Forms. There. Okay, maybe too much Padlet, yeah? So just one. Right, Padlet will be down there. And then post-class activity, you want the students to do some assessment, yeah? So what do you do? Right. Okay, after this, after the session, each student will be attempting the quiz. What quiz? What quiz number? Quiz number 2, quiz number 3, quiz number 1. Okay, on Brighton. Okay, whereabout? Okay, it is advisable to keep all the activity inside the week. If you use this, because I'm using weekly format, that's actually the advantage of having weekly format if compared to topic format, because topic is just a topic assessment, and then topic class notes, and then topic articles, something like that, or past year semester paper. So these are depending on your organization of materials. But in order for you to do this effectively, you need to be able to host the whole course page with activities related to this. So when it comes to understanding this, make sure that you have quiz 3 on the same week. Okay, do you want it to be graded? Up to you. So graded or not, so we leave it there. If you want them to do reflection, it's up to you as well. You can always say, write somewhere on Padlet or write somewhere on the forum. So you can do this. So there goes everything. So please do something and make it nicer, up to you. Okay, so my students are going to be having a shock. Why? Because I'm doing this live on week 5. All right, so it hangs for a while. All right, okay. Save and return to course. See what happened. You see that? Which week am I? I'm at week 5, and then I've put in flipped classroom activity. Please ensure that this is very clear to the students. And if you may, you can also include the duration or the time, SLT, required to watch the videos, for example, and to perform the task. Okay, make sure that they are accumulated so that they can expect how much time that they can spend or allocate for this lecture. Right? So remember when I said that, refer to this and that. So where's the video? Where's the video anyway? Right? So you can always get somewhere. So let's try to find out. Where's the video? Okay, so there's so many. Why are these? I don't listen to this anyway. Okay, I listen to Spotify. So that's the thing. All right, so let's take a dummy video. Watch these videos. Okay. Go to this video. Hello there. How AI works. If you think that is good, then go and share. Okay, start at where? Start at 0. Then you embed. When you embed, ensure that it is still starting at 0. Ensure that it starts at 0, yeah? Then only you copy. Embed, yeah, copy. Go back. Where was that particular flipped classroom activity? Okay, so we're going to start editing again. Watch 2 videos, remember? Make it clear to them. Okay, below. Ta-da! So where's below? Okay, I think it's about time. It's video number 1. Go further down, include this HTML coding, and then just find out where exactly it's going to be placed. It was pre-class preparation. There you go. I can find my video 1 here. Can you see that? Video 1. Okay. So I need to be safe. So this is the point where I think this should be represented as the last of the paragraph. Have done. Don't worry so much, yeah, because you can always preview. I'm going to start pasting. So this is iframe, the one containing the YouTube video. And then if I want to check, it is advisable to check here and see whether it is placed right at the correct place. Adjust a bit. Video 1. Go now. Watch what? Video number 2. Do the same case, yeah? Ensure everything is systematically being done. Okay. But it has nothing to do with my course anyway. Okay. Right. So now I'm going to share this. So 0. Start at 0. Try to embed. No, okay, never mind. So please ensure that it really starts at 0. Yeah, please, please. Then only you copy. Nah, I start at 0.1 again. Video number 2. Okay, what should we do? Go back to HTML. We are there. Remember the iframe just now? Oh, that is actually my main title. Remember? Okay, so let's try to trace. Iframe, remember? And then did I say anything about video 2? Yes, it's here. Okay, so because of that, this is the point where I'm going to start inserting my quotes. If I want to check whether it's right placement, so I'm going to check About nice, isn't it? So there you go, video 1, video 2. All right. What else? Okay, you want to see? Save. Is it ready? So actually, if you are okay with all this pulling of the tools from outside, then you should be fast enough to create one flipped classroom lesson, but ensure that you write down somewhere. Okay, so you want it to be planned anyway. Okay. Can you see that? Now it's showing. Oh, still, okay. Go to focus mode. Focus mode so that you can see, students seeing this. Oh, flip classroom, yeah. Okay, what do I have to do? Watch the 2 YouTube. Oh, okay, videos are here. What's next? Make a note. Okay. Where to put the note? Oh, there's at home activity at MS Forms. So you create your MS Forms and then do a link here. How to do the link? You can go to Microsoft Forms and then create that link, and then how to insert that. Actually, I'm just teaching you how to start quickly, isn't it? Because this is focus mode. Come back. Okay, say for example, you want to start Padlet. Okay, during class. Okay, get ready. Of course, you need to edit first. Okay. Okay, so where do I place my link? My MS Forms here. Then just select this. So you're going to get the display. Just put it in and then create the link. Yeah. It is supposed to work likewise for your Padlet, for example. So during class, you have this. Then you supply the Padlet. Sometimes the Padlet can be in within. So say, for example, I fancy to have my Padlet. Okay, I'll just take this one, yeah? This is just a dummy thing, yeah? So you are going to create this. I want to share this, and then I'm going to embed in my blog or website. So this is the thing. You're going to copy the whole code. Do the same thing like what you did for your YouTube, and go to the editing text. Place it nicely. Okay, I plan to put it here. Padlet. Yeah. Padlet. Okay. Then what do you do? Do the same thing. Then you have your coding. Where is it? Can you see? Can you spot where Padlet is? Here. I hope it's the correct placement. Go back. View it. Is it there? Okay, not too close. There you are. Okay, so let's watch how it looks like. You want to see this? Focus mode. Week 5, flip classroom activity. Okay, don't forget the link, yeah, to MS Forms. You have to do it. And there you go, during class. Oh, I have to do this. So meaning they are seeing what to be done. So it's more, systematic and well-informed to the students. And then they are going to just populate this. So the Padlet is given. So there's no excuse that it's not there. And every single student will be able to see whether or not their friends are responsive. So this is something that you can control. So discuss key takeaway. Okay, put instruction here, put instruction there. Right? Then get ready for presentation on Padlet. Up to you. You can use this and project to the wall, to the screen, and then discuss. Then always place attempting the quiz on Brighton. So meaning, remember, it's on the same page. Okay, so if you want to be on the same page, do this again. Unfocus mode. Go back. Okay, so the thing is that you can introduce a new assessment. How? Here. Okay, assessment. Because I said I want to have quiz 3. So just make sure that you label them correctly. Do whatever you want. I think I skipped too much, yeah? All right, so it's done. All right. Then during class, post activity, tada! So after the session, each student will attempting the quiz 3 on Brighton, and then they're seeing quiz 3 below. So isn't that wonderful? Because you tend to organize them in an orderly manner. So this is a model of a flipped classroom, doing it in a proper planning, and then, try to decide how much work will the students do. Why? Because you do not want to overwhelm them, because flipped classroom takes much of their student learning time outside of the class hour, rather than concentrating on listening to you during the lecture. So this is different. So be mindful when you give this task, not too frequent. 4 is enough for that particular semester, whereby you're going to allow yourself to spend it. I mean, try to allow some time or space, okay, between one flipped classroom activity to another flipped classroom activity. Do not have flipped classrooms, 4 of them back to back. This is not good. So what you're going to do is that design it for special topic, maybe like what we discussed sessions now with Miss Sarah. She said that she plans to have something on IP addressing. So it's just that. Introduce that during week 6, for example, and then week 8, then week 9. Okay, week 9 is about good time to have another flipped classroom. So that is something that you need to consider. Any questions so far? You see that I do not use any of the lesson plan. Okay, but if you fancy the lesson plan, I can give it to you later. Right? Do you have any questions so far? Are you still there?
Dalam chat tak ada lagi.
Yeah. Should you have any questions, you are free to do so. Where we are here. Notice something from the cloud. Yeah. Cloudy with meatballs. Okay, are you hungry? Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, flipped classroom, there are 2 ways. I think I'm becoming lenient a bit because I don't want to force you to have so much of things, yeah? Too many work, too little time. Can understand that. Okay, you might want to see past semester's lesson plan. Hold on, yeah, hold on. Don't say anything. SharePoint, where's my SharePoint? Okay, previously I had some time to monitor some of the implementations of lesson plans. So it started with 2020. Okay, and then we have all the BL agents. And of course, we are phasing out BL agents. We are now having BL ambassadors, but I'm yet to come up with like a playbook. Okay, basically I have a lot of things in mind. Something that I want to empower our BL ambassador so that they can be a point where people can seek advice or perhaps run some demonstration on their own. And I'm going to accommodate them with some webinar slots, and they are free to talk about anything. So I'm just here to start with the flipped classroom. Perhaps another time they might be talking about anything on Brighton, perhaps on adaptive learning, and many more, or maybe AI tools. So that is something on the current trend. We have started with previously by Puan Mahlinda Yu. She was talking about the AI in teaching and learning. So basically, there are a lot of things that we need to catch up. Of course, make time. Spare some time to update yourself with these learning tools because it helps your life really easily. So to tell you the truth, in order for me to come up with this, I just need to ask the AI to do this particular thing. So I need to admit, don't have so much time to prepare, but this should be the storyline for me to give the casual chat for you today. Okay, when did I do this? After my lit class yesterday. So, yep. So you can see that it is almost AI, but the thing is that please ensure it is, of course, AI is just there to help you, and then it's going to aid you with this teaching content, but you have to provide them with the right prompts or with the right inputs. So from there, it is more accurate in terms of the results, yeah, right? So there'll be a lot here, but I haven't reached the conclusion just yet, but I'm about to go there. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, perhaps you want to ask about how do you assess your course, whether or not it can be running, it can be implementing flipped classroom. Okay, can I do flipped classroom for maths class? Maths class, okay. Can I do flipped classroom for physics or perhaps language class? Okay, so there are many ways for you to attend to this matter. By right, you can do a lot of things with flipped classroom because you are the subject matter expert and the resources are just there. And just make sure that you carefully select and curate all your videos before doing it. And to provide the videos, so let me remind you, do not provide something which is like 2 hours kind of videos for them to learn. Make it just simple, a short, concise videos for their learning. Because you know, discussion is going to come in once you meet them in the class. So there's no point, not really I'm saying there's no point, but why bother to give them like a replacement lecture by another person? Aren't you the one who's lecturing? So providing somebody else's lecture to replace your lecture is something that I don't know what to do, what to speak about, okay, what to speak of it. You are the one who's lecturing. So when I say that, if it saves you time, okay, with the content, if you get support of the same topic, perhaps they are talking about this. So just take it as a curated video for the students to watch, rather than having the videos imported to your course page, like 1 hour, 2 hour lecture videos, as if replacing you, okay, doing the job that you're supposed to do. Be mindful of that as well, and ensure that the materials is just going to be something that's light, but then straight to the point. Okay, so if you want to discuss, say for example, in English, you want to write persuasive speech. For example, persuasive speech. Why do I come with that? Okay, there are many ways for them to do that. You can go to other YouTube resources, and maybe you can go and select Toastmasters, okay? Toastmasters website, there are plenty of them, persuasive speech. So meaning you begin to curate, and it must be of credible enough for the students to follow. Do not supply them with some videos provided by other students as their projects. So please be mindful. Again, this is something to, for all of us to learn and think about when we supply the videos to watch. Remember, it must be curated, it must be systematically designed, because at the end of the day, whether or not it is a success, it is pretty much up to you. Why? Because you're the only one to be responsible for the design of the flipped classroom. If something happens, then you lose that particular lecture hour. If something happens, that means you're on the losing side, because the students will be complaining. So do it right the first time and ensure that the instructions are clear enough for the students to understand and follow. And that shall be the way for you to conduct this particular flipped classroom. And again, as a reminder, flipped classroom activities should be spent across the semester. Yes, the minimum is 4. But however, this particular week, for example, week number 2, already you have a difficult topic. Why not you're going to supply that as a flipped classroom material? And then come come week 6, then there's like between like a month, and then you can also introduce again another flipped classroom approach. You can do that, but do not have anything back to back because students need time to process and needs time to allocate their studying time just for your activity. Be mindful. And sometimes, often, you do not want to cram them with so much of topics in the flipped classroom activity. Select one topic and then do some discussions so that you are going to save some time. And you think that you need more time to discuss, so be it use flipped classroom pedagogy. So that is actually most it's actually encouraging if you can do this when it comes to selected topic, and then where you really need a point of discussion. I mean, a very can we say that you need more time to discuss? Often in the classroom, you don't have time for the lecture. And then until then, you only see that it's already time to leave the class. So too bad, there's no room for discussion. So you can opt for this flipped classroom. So it's very powerful by design. And if you design it carefully, it's going to help you, and it's also going to help your students as well. And of course, if you do need any if you do need any assistance, you can always refer to KFL. Blended learning is now under digital learning unit because blended learning, because it's using online approach. That is, I think it is there. Previously, blended learning was teaching was with Teaching and Learning Center. So maybe next year I'm going to start to park it under digital learning unit. So as for now, you can see me as usual talking about BL. Right? So do you have any questions so far that you are keen to ask about, is this okay for my class to use flipped classroom? So what kind of topic can I start immediately? That's something that you want to know because week 6 is just around the corner, isn't it? So you want to plan for that long holiday. Not really long holiday, long weekend. And then most of you might be teaching, you have Monday classes. So to make it worse, you have to plan and then try to come up with a flipped classroom lesson. So this is something that you want to look into. I'm not saying that you are replacing, yeah? You're just going to substitute, and then you're going to make use and make do with whatever that is given to you, right? And then you have to be smart, whereby you need to arrange this carefully so that you do not miss a single class. Right, so take each and every single pedagogy here, the approach, as an opportunity for you to keep on learning new things. Right, so do not be just there. Okay, you think you're comfortable. I'm just comfortable with this approach. I think I'm not going to do something else. So be ready, or else somebody's going to, replace you, okay, in the near future, because AI is there. But the thing is that you still need a teacher to give the human touch or whatever, or to try to summarize the things from your view, and then of course experience. And they're still learning, yeah. Okay, they are compiling, and then if compared to you with 20 years of teaching experience, I believe you are almost like a walking encyclopedia. So this thing, don't worry too much, but you need to be able to be open to any tools that's coming in. But one thing for sure, the pitfall will be, do not pick up too much learning tools. Why? You're not going to be settled. One thing for sure, I love Mentimeter, I love Microsoft Forms, I love YouTube videos, I love Panopto, I love Edpuzzle, I love Padlet, I love Kahoot. Wow, there's so many, right? So just choose wisely, whichever which is of your convenience. And as well, okay, maybe you want to say that, oh, maybe I need to start to invest. Okay, invest a bit, subscribe to the license feature if you want to. It's up to you. So if you feel that, and the tools are only meant for some activities. Okay, collecting ideas, feedback, or polls might be Mentimeter, but then for reflection or perhaps a short, write up, you can use Padlet, up to you. But again, if you feel that, some DIY quizzes, okay, let us check your understanding. Let's gauge some understanding. Okay, after yesterday's lecture, how do you feel about the topic? Okay, so you can do or run Kahoot. So it's just like that. Use the right tool, but not to be overwhelming the students, because there was some reports saying that Perhaps the lecturer was excited, excited with all these tools to use and adopt, but somehow not settled with the right tool. Okay, there are so many. So please choose wisely. If you are into Panopto, then you use Panopto. If you are into Mentimeter, use Mentimeter. Okay, after all, they can just they are pretty much about the same now, because it seems like Mentimeter is behaving like Padlet right now, because you can put in comments looking like, okay, but Padlet has limited feature, then you use Mentimeter, for example. And then if you feel that you like gamification, you use Kahoot. It's wonderful with all these flying things and the elements of surprise. Okay, so those are suspense. So you love that. The students love that too. So be mindful, settled with just a few tools, which is convenient for you to use, as well as a good investment for you. All right. So I believe that's all from me. Should you have any question, just okay, continue with the chat here. Okay, so I leave it here with my presentation. I don't go to the conclusion because I believe it's a casual chat, so I don't have to go through everything. So as a conclusion, you can start anytime, but be mindful what to start with, and then which topic are you going to be using or going to select for this particular flip classroom. Be prepared. Okay, inform the students. Rule of thumb: 1 week before. Okay, that's the least you can do, because after meeting today, you're going to meet them again next week. So I think it's about a nice time for you to have that. And then try to have something written. Written here meaning it's going to be having the instruction. Instruction must be clear, else students are not going to be following. So that is something that you need to look into, right? And of course, do not push everything for them to read, to watch the videos. Why? Because they don't have so much time. They are not taking your course. They are also taking other subjects too. So be mindful. So this would be something for you to ponder. All right. So with that, thank you very much. Okay. Thank you for listening. If you don't have so much questions, so you can always buzz me. And yeah, so let's call it a day. Okay, back to Dr. Zulman. It's 11:29.
Thank you to the channel. Thank you, everyone. So I hope all of you boleh isikan borang attendance, attendance, borang evaluation form. Okay, and then jumpa lagi untuk Dr. Prof. Karim next week. Bye-bye. Kita akhir dengan bacaan surah Al-Nas dan tasbih sekarang. Bismillah. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank
Assalamualaikum.
you. Thank you, everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Terima kasih. Bye.
Bye.